here. 17 makes are entered, many of them by the factories themselves. In fact, there are 14 major factory teams representing 10 nations. This is the greatest international race to be held in this country since the days of the Roosevelt Speedway in the late 30s. And the crowd knows it. They've been pouring in since before dawn this morning. And are beginning to pack like sardines. Over in the pits, the fantastic array of sports cars are being prepared for the terrific grind that will be started in 2 hours at 10 a.m. Almost all the entrants have trailers loaded with spare parts. A lot of things wore out in 12 brutal hours of competition. Just like any other great sporting event, there has been much speculation. Everyone has their favorite. However, of all the cars, I believe 2 have been mentioned more than the rest. One is this Ferrari entered by the Italian factory, but its driver is the reason for the talk. Juan Manuel Fangio, the master, the world champion, quiet, unassuming, but tremendously respected by his competitors. The other car, a D-type Jaguar owned by Jack Inslee, but here again the interest lies in the driver, Bob Swikert of Indianapolis fame. It was not his skill in sports cars, but his lack of it that caused the talk. He had never driven one before. There are many other favorite cars and drivers, so let's look around. Here are the 2 factory 3-liter Maseratis getting their final check. The white jobs are the beautiful factory D-Jags. 3 are factory cars. The 4th is entered by Briggs Cunningham, who will also co-drive with Gordon Bennett. Team drivers are Mike Hawthorne and Desmond Tinnington, Hamilton and Bube, and in number 10, Spear and Johnson. This is William Lloyd's 1500 Maserati. There are 3 of these cars in the race. This one is to be driven by Robert Burns and Norman Scott. Dr. Wiley's Lotus has just had its tank filled. The Lotus machines will do battle with the Coopers for Class G honors, as well as trying for the Index of Performance win. One of the other factory Ferraris has had the petrol treatment. In other words, it's been gassed, if you'll pardon the expression. This one will be chauffeured by the Marquis de Portiga and our own Jim Kimberly. A.A. Braun's D-Jag gets a drink. Louis Barrow and Gordon McKenzie will share the cockpit. There are 9 of these beautiful D-types entered. About the same number of Ferraris will be in the lineup. Here's one now, driven by a very familiar American, Phil Hill. Phil's partner is another American favorite, Maston Gregory. The lone Renault entered will have Jean Lucas and John Norwood at the wheel. The little job from France has a displacement of 745 cc's. Another of the D-Jags, this one from Cuba. It will be driven by Alfonso Mena and Santiago Gonzalez. The Cunningham D-type is fueled in the pits. And now we come to the team that caused no little comment itself. About the American Corvette 4-car team, we've heard everything, from sarcastic snickering to, well, at least they're trying, and even a few will show yous. The Corvettes have been test running the course for the past month and have made many improvements, so we're inclined to go along with the, well, at least a factory in this country is trying attitude. Another English factory team, the 2-liter Arnott Bristols. The Lotus pit crews are busy like everyone else. Starting time is less than an hour away now. This is the 1-liter Climax engine in the Joe Shepard Lotus. The final engine check is completed in Jake Kaplan's D-Jag. And the Barrow McKenzie car is just about ready. The tension is beginning to mount, especially for those still not prepared. The German Porsche number 41 is to be driven by Hans Hermann and Count von Trips. The other car is the John Edgar Porsche, which will have 2 popular American chauffeurs, McAfee and Lovely. Things are jumping in the Ferrari pit. In the red shirt is the co-driver of factory car number 19, the young Spanish nobleman daredevil, the Marquis Alfonso de Portiga. Ferrari's number 18 driver is Shell in the blue hat and Musso. There's SCCA President Jim Kimberly. Still another factory entry, the Cooper Car Company's potent threats for the index of performance. The streamlined beauties are powered by 61 cubic inch engines. One of the 300 SLs entered. This Mercedes looks like it's ready to fly away. The Phil Hill Maston Gregory 3.5 liter Ferrari. This is Gregory making a last-minute cockpit change. And then it's time to line up. There's Ray Crawford in the number 6 Corvette. The cars are lined up by FIA classes, with the biggest displacements at the front. Edgar's beautiful little Porsche. The Cuban D-Jag. It won't be long now. It's 20 minutes till 10. The Aston Martins have outstanding drivers. Sterling Moss, Peter Collins, Roy Salvadori, Carroll Shelby, Reg Parnell, and Tony Brooks. These 3-liter machines will be tough to beat. The crowd has grown to terrific proportions, and most of the 60 cars are in position. The greats from Italy, England, Germany, France, Spain, Argentina, Cuba, and the United States are ready to do battle. It's 9:45. McAfee, Hill, Kimberly, and the rest receive final instructions from race director Ullman. A little entertainment from the band. The national anthem will be sung by James Melton. The Ferrari drivers come down for a closer look. Harry Schell and the Marquis show a great interest in the girl's hat, followed by Fangio's co-driver Eugenio Castellati. It's 10 minutes till 10. The pits are jammed with last-minute well-wishers, officials, mechanics, and drivers. If anything needs to be done, it's got to be done now. The sardines are restless. The tension is a thing you can feel. Fitch's Corvette, Rutman's Ferrari, then the rest of the Corvettes. The enormous D-Jag entry. The blood red Ferraris, Hill's white one, the Mercedes, the red Maseratis, the green Aston Martins, the Austin Healey's, the Morgan, Arnold Bristol, Porsches, MGs. They're all ready. Ex-Mercedes driver Fitch, head of the Corvette team. His car has a board-and-stroke Chevy loaded with goodies. That's Hawthorne in the white pants. It's 30 seconds until 10. Schweikert in the white, Fangio in the yellow and blue. 10 seconds to 10. The Le Mans start is the most exciting in racing. Hill is away, followed by Fangio, and the Grand Prix of Endurance has started. It's 20 seconds after 10. Fitch was the first car away, but Hawthorne caught him before the first turn, and number 8 D-Jag is the first car in sight down the back straight, followed by number 14 Schweikert. And that's how they passed the starting line. Followed by Sterling Moss, Phil Hill, Fitch, and the rest of the field. Just a little less than 12 hours remain. Hawthorne really has his foot in it, but Moss is flying too. After 2 laps, it's still Hawthorne, but Moss is second now. Schweikert is third. And here comes Fangio. The Maseratis are moving up. And the Porsches. The huge course with its long runway straightaways is 5.2 miles around. Musso, Team Ferrari. Salvadori, Team Aston Martin. Colin Chapman, Lotus designer at the wheel of Shepherd. Vera, factory Maserati. Spear, factory Jaguar. Moss is doing a terrific job with a 3-liter car. Fitch in the Corvette. Phil Hill is well up there. Here's McAfee. There's an Oscar entered by Venezuela. Fangio is now in third. A DB leaves the pits. We've just learned the first car is out, with Dale Duncan driving a Corvette through the left rear wheel at 22 minutes after 10. There's Crawford. Berra is now in 5th position with a 3-liter Maserati. These turns after exceptionally long straights are going to be very hard on brakes. Followed by Sterling Moss. And right behind is Fangio. And still gaining is Berra. Herman, factory Porsche. Hamilton, Works Jag, really being pushed by Musso's Ferrari. The Marquis is moving up. Carlo Mintake and the other factory Maserati. Hill is among the first 10. 2 more cars are out. One, the lone Renault entry driven by Frenchman Jean Lucas. The other, a team Corvette driven by Ericsson, burned a piston. It's 12 o'clock. DePortigo pits first for Ferrari. Fangio checks the pits briefly. He will be due for fuel soon. Speed but with efficiency is what counts. And the other cars going by keeps the pressure on every second you're in the pit. Phil Hill is in for tires and fuel. Speed, speed. competition continues to roar by. At last, the red bomb is ready to go, and with Kimberly at the wheel. To the drivers, it seems like it's taken at least an hour, but it's really only been a little over a minute. There's Schweikert driving a paced race. Spear in the beautiful Finn D-Jag. The 300 SL. Parnell passes Crawford. Moss continues to hold second, but Fangio is close. Mintigay gets a pit signal. And now the Ferrari is ready. Maston Gregory relieves Hill. The pits are getting jammed. A Cooper is in. And Crawford brings in the Porsche. The tough, fast course continues to take its toll. The Parkinson Cooper is out with a broken valve. We learned Crawford's Corvette has had transmission trouble, and he has the use of hydro only. The Mintigay factory Maserati is out after hitting a hay bale and flipping. Carlo was injured but is not critical. The DB, driven by Francois Cruzet, hit a bale, pinching the fender against the tire, and he is out. It is 1 o'clock. Owner Inslee has relieved Schweikert. Carroll Shelby is in for Salvadori. The third hour official standings are: first, Hawthorne and Titterington, D-Jag; second, Barra Taruffi, Maserati; third, Fangio Castellati, Ferrari; fourth, Moss, Collins, Aston Martin; fifth, DePortiga, Kimberly, Ferrari; sixth, Hill, Gregory, Ferrari; seventh, Musso, Shell, Ferrari; eighth, Spear, Johnson, D-Jag; ninth, Hamilton, Butte, D-Jag; 10th, Schweikert, Inslee, D-Jag. The first four are all on the 49th lap, while the others are on the 48th lap. After 250 miles, the first 10 are less than 10 miles apart. But at this pace, how long can it last? A Ferrari entered by Venezuela and driven by Pola left the courses and stuck in the sand. The Hamilton D-Jag is out with a broken brake cylinder. This is the way to watch a race, especially with a temperature around 90 degrees. And the heat is really being felt by the drivers and their machines. Roger Wing and a D-Jag. Hawthorne's back in number 8. The equipment is taking a terrific beating. The average speed for the leaders is in the high 80s. Two more favorites are out. The engine in the Aston Martin, driven by Sterling Moss, seized. Phil Hill's Ferrari threw a rod. Wing's D-Jag hit a barrel and is out. The time is 3 o'clock. Scott in the 1500 Maserati. Dr. Wiley in his Lotus. Barbarossa in his 2-liter Ferrari. Allen in a factory, MGA. On and on and on. This is a race of endurance more for the machines than for the men. Each hour the brake grows a little worse, and the engine's a little more strained. The leaders are all approaching the 500-mile mark. And Arnold Bristol, driven by builder E.H. Arnold, hit a barrel and is through. As we reach the halfway point, almost 1/3 of the starting field is out. 18 cars. The time is 4 o'clock. But the pace never lets up. There's Cuban champion Gonzalez on the back row. Phil Stiles in the Healy. Robinson in a factory Healy. Kaplan is overtaken by the leader, Desmond Titterington. Cunningham. The Porsches are continuing to work their way up and are real challengers for the index title. It's been a beautiful day and the temperature is down a little now, just below 80. There's been practically no wind to bother the drivers on the fast straights. But the pace is killing. The only Morgan in the race is out with a broken tie rod. Shepard's Lotus wouldn't start after a pit stop. Bill Lloyd's Maserati lost its transmission. A short time later, another 1500 Maserati left the course and was stuck in the sand. Driver Burns tried to remove it, but the gearbox locked. There's Fangio in the lead. The D-Type is in the pits. Schweikert signals his pit. DePortigo. Gonzalez. Hawthorne. And Musso. We have just received the 8th hour official standings, and although there have been many changes, the factory teams are still the main battlers. First, Fangio Ferrari, 132 laps. Second, Hawthorne D-Jag, 131 laps. Third, Musso Ferrari, 129 laps. Fourth, Parnell Aston Martin, 126 laps. Fifth, Schweikert D-Jag, 126 laps. Sixth, Johnson D-Jag, 126 laps. Seventh, Shelby Aston Martin, 125 laps. Eighth, Barrow Maserati, 125 laps. Ninth, DePortiga Ferrari, 125 laps. 10th, Herman Porsche, 120 laps. Of the top 10, there are 3 factory Ferraris, 2 Works D-Jags, 2 Works Aston Martins, 1 factory Maserati, 1 factory Porsche, and a private D-Jag. There's Barra in the Maserati. There are the standings we just gave you. The index positions are not correct. Actually, Fangio is first. There's the leader, with Hawthorne 1 lap behind. These two have been the leaders since the start. The Musso Shell Ferrari holding third, the Parnell Brooks Aston Martin in fourth. Kimberly's back at number 19. Kaplan's D-Jag. cases claim 2 more victims. The Johnsons' Wirtz D-Jag broke a valve while running well up in the pack. And Kaplan's Jag just lost its brakes. But as the hours pass, the machinery isn't the only thing that gives up. Kimberly is informed of his lap time, 3.48. And Swikert begins picking up the pace, 3:43. Jag is doing very well, moving up steadily. There's Gonzalez. From the air, we get a good idea of the vastness of the Sebring course. It's little wonder the brakes are going out, trying to slow down after these long straights. There's the 300 SL. Kimberly suddenly appears at the pits with a completely shredded left front tire. And man, look at those factory men go after it. There's teammate Fangio. The seconds tick by. They're using the opportunity to fuel it. And there goes Parnell. She's almost ready now. Just the fuel. But the competition keeps coming. And just over the minute mark, she's ready. Kimberly jumps in. And he's off. Mile after mile after mile, the leaders have made 150 laps now, over 750 twisty miles. Fatigue is beginning to creep into everyone and everything, with still over 3 hours to go. Parnell is lapping in 3:41, terrific for this stage of the race. Fangio. Ruberosa. Salvadori, Shelby's co-driver, is lapping at 3:43 in the other team, Aston Martin. Kimberly continues to keep his foot in the carburetor. The index. Let's watch a few of the top drivers corner in slow motion. This one's Fangio. Here's Mike Hawthorne at the wheel of the Works D-Type. This was the only car in the race with fuel injection and seemed to be the fastest. French champion Barra doing a smooth job in the factory 3-liter Maserati. Some of the cars fly down the back road. One of the interesting technical sidelights was a quick change brake setup on the Aston Martins. Anticipating the terrific strain on the brakes, they devised a method that enabled them to change the brake shoes in a little over 2 minutes. This team is doing quite a job considering they're giving away about 30 cubic inches to the Ferraris and Jaguars. Maserati is also giving away 500 cc's and doing a fine job. The battle for first place still rages between Fangio and Hawthorne. The Ferrari continues to hold a one-lap lead. Darkness is finally upon us. The leaders remain the same, but there are more car casualties. Ed Crawford's Porsche is out with a broken spindle. Barro's D-Jag lost its clutch, and the Porto Kimberly Ferrari broke a valve and is through after being with the leaders from the start 9.5 hours ago. We've just been handed the 10th hour official standings. First, Fangio and Castellati. Second, Hawthorne. Third, Musso. Fourth, Parnell. Fifth, Schweikert. Sixth, Barra. Seventh, Shelby. Eighth, Herman. Ninth, McAfee. And 10th, the Cuban champion Gonzalez. The pit area at night. A Cooper is in the pits. The killing pace never lets up, even at night. And here are the standings we just gave you. But again, the index is wrong. Herman's Porsche is now first, and McAfee is second. And then it happened. At 8:35, Hawthorne was in the pits with no brakes. The crew checks it quickly and finds a broken brake cylinder. It's no use. There isn't time. Hawthorne is out. The pressure is gone. Castellati slows down to conserve what brakes he has left. 3:50 lap time. It's 10 o'clock. Number 17 Ferrari wins it with Castellati at the wheel. Musso was second, and number 18 Ferrari and Schweikert got a terrific third. The winning pair had covered a record-setting 1,008 miles at 84 miles an hour average. Two real champions, Fangio and Castellati. The time is 10:25.